everyone, welcome back to my video. Please make sure you like, you comment, and subscribe down below. This video is going to be about my job search. Just gonna do a little chit chat, let you guys know my experience and what I've noticed going on these job fairs. And if you are a new teacher or if you're in the process of looking for a job and you're a first teacher like me going into it for the next school year, this is definitely the video that you need to watch. So within these past 2 weeks, I've went on 2 job fairs in Brooklyn where they had the North Fair and they had the South Fair. If you applied for the Department of Education, they send you information about hiring events where they have all schools in the districts and they let you know what the particular vacancies are open within their school. When I went to the job fair, one thing that I really liked is a lot of the schools had on their table, they had a list of positions that they're interested in. A lot of them were looking for people who had bilingual certs. A lot of them were looking for teachers who had dual. They had both general ed and special ed. Some of them were looking for one cert or early childhood, birth 1 to 2. So a lot of the school was looking for different things. And if you had high school 7 to 12 or middle school 1 to 6, they were looking for those particular things. So it was easier for you to maneuver around the lunchroom to see like what tables you needed what tables you needed to go to. For the fair, I did bring my resume and I did bring my portfolio. Does your portfolio need to be the best? No. My portfolio was not the best. I just had the basics in there and what I needed. Did I show my portfolio? Yes. Depending on the question that I was being asked, if they asked me about modifications and adaptations, how I differentiate for my student, I had a sample that I did with one of my students when I was doing my student teaching. I was able to just show them pictures and explain like what the student did for that unit and why I use the visual cues for that particular student. So I'm going to go over that with you guys a little bit later to give you guys the inside scoop on my portfolio. When you get there, it is overwhelming. It's a lot of people. It's crowded. And it's you against everyone because everyone's looking for a job. Everyone's looking for a job. So it's just very crazy. One thing that was a con for me is that let's say you went there and you're looking for a particular school, that particular school does not show up. It's very disheartening when you go to these job fairs. You are up there because obviously you need somebody in your school. You're looking for a position, and for you to not show up at the fair because you have an opening, it's very disheartening when the school is not there. Because it's like, why do I want to apply to your school when you couldn't even show up, or at least have 1 or 2 people like come and just represent the school for you to get, some information. So that was very disheartening because I was looking for a certain school in my district, and it was like it's not too far. I've seen them come up a lot on the Sub Central. They were looking for somebody, but they weren't there. So who knows? Maybe before the school year is over, I will pop up and do a subbing for them at the school and just fill it out myself. And if I like it, I'll pass my resume on to the principal. So please keep that in mind. Sometimes when you go to the fair, the school that you're looking for is not going to be there. But what you can do is look for somebody who's like the district representative for that district and hand them your resume. Because that's what I had to do. I had to find the person who was the representative for that particular district and give them my resume. And who knows, all you can do is pray on it that your resume lands in the person's hand and they'll give you a phone call for a formal interview. So if that ends up happening to you, look for the district representative for that district and just give them your resume and just tell them you're certified in both. You're looking to work special ed. If you know anybody, can you just please, pass this on for me, and I appreciate it. Done. What else? Another thing. Let's be realistic. When you go to this job fair, yes, they do say to give your resume to all the schools that are there, but let's be realistic. If the school is far and you're not going to be able to make it, don't waste your time giving your resume to that school. Now, if you have a car, that's perfect. But me now, I'm going to be realistic. I have my license, but I do not drive. I'm hoping after my first year teaching or before my first year teaching, I want to get myself a car. You know, that's my goal right now, to get myself a car. But if you have a car, that's different. If you are somebody that takes the train or the bus to get to work, you really need to be selective on what district you're picking. Let's be real. If you know you're not going to be able to make it, please don't waste your time giving your resume to that school, especially if it's very far. If it's Coney Island and you live in Crown Heights or you live in Canarsie, like you have to think about these things. How are you going to get there? So please be mindful of that. So with throughout both of these fairs, I only gave out 3 resumes. So I gave out 3 at the first one and 3 at the second one. So you have to be mindful of that as well. Another thing, you have to look up and research the school. Now, I'm gonna show you the school that I student teach at. If you live in the New York City area, you will probably know the school. Very popular. Like when I say I love this school and I was so fortunate to be there for my student teaching, like I fell in love. Now, when you go to the job fair, while you're on the line, if the line is long, you want to make sure that you research the schools. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't do that. I did it while I was on the line. Wasn't smart because, like I said, you don't really know all the schools that's going to be there. They don't give you a list. They might say all the schools in District 16. Like, you don't know which school is going to be there. All you can do is be on your phone, you pass by and look, and you just look up the school on your phone, because that's what I was doing. So I'm going to show you an example of the school where I student teach at. When I say this is one of the best, when I say the best, one of the best schools. So I'm going to show you what you should do when you are looking for a particular school. So this is the school. And this is how they rated the school. So they rated it on rigorous instruction, collaborative teachers, supportive environment, effective school leadership, strong family community ties, and trust. If you see a school with all of these, that means that the school is excellent. So you want to be looking for schools that have excellent, you know that that's a great school for you to go to or to work at. You know, if you have schools that have a little bit of good and a little bit of excellent, that's good. And you're able to compare it with the data from the school year before. So this data was recent. I think this data was from 2016 to 2017. So if you wanted to go the year before that, you can compare the data to see if the school has made growth. One thing that they also have, like you really want to pay close attention to, this is student achievement trust. So you want to look also at the green part for trust. This is what you really want to pay close attention to, because this is where you're able to tell if there's a lot of turnover with teachers, and you're able to see, well, why does this have a low percent? And, you know, in regards to trust. So the question is relationships between administrators, educators, students, and families based on the trust and respect. 98% of teachers say that they trust the principal. 98. Now that's good. If it's lower than that and in the 60s or in the 70s, I would question that. You know, I would really have to question that, because then I'm thinking of myself, am I going to have the best support? Teachers are already in there, and if you're at a 50, 60, that's not a good look for me, because I'm going to need the support my first year. So I'm going to be looking at that. 98% of teachers say that they trust each other. You know, you want to look at that. Do they have a good relationship, not only with teachers on their grade levels, but all the teachers in the school? You know, you really want to look for that. So this is something that I learned as I was in graduate school. You want to be looking closely at the data, especially the data from the year before and the current year, to look and see how the school is. And this data tells you everything, like everything. If this is excellent, It goes from excellent, good is 3, fair, and then poor has 1. But this school has an excellent. If you see a school like this, you know that it's a good school. Now back to one of my stories. Now this is gonna be a little, not too long, but yesterday at the interview, I was waiting online. The line was very long. It was the principal and the assistant principal, and on her thing she's looking for dual only. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have that. Let me stand online. So I go up there and she's like, oh, you have dual. I'm looking for a lot of that. Da, da, da. And she's talking. I didn't really like the assistant principal because I felt like she was kind of rude. She just like she just rubbed. Let's just say she rubbed me the wrong way. So after I was just like, I'm not really like feeling the school, but I was like, let me just get, because the principal was very interested. Like she was with it, like everything. She was just happy that somebody had a dual. So she said she doesn't want to, hire anybody who has a single cert anymore. She just learned that at her particular school, this is what she wants and whatever, whatever. And we were talking, whatever. Now, after I got off the line, how I was saying you should do your research. When I got off the line, guys, for trust, she had poor from the teachers that was in there. And I was like, oh my Lord. And then it clicked in my head. I'm like, that's why she's looking for dual, because she has a lot of turnovers. They're leaving. Her teachers that she has at her school, they're not lasting. They're gone within the first year or probably in the middle of the school year. So that's why she's looking for a dual. So if somebody leaves, they can take over. So if you see trust, and you need to look at the percentage of what the teachers gave the principal. And if it's low and it's not in the 90s or 80s, you really have to question that. So immediately when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't even give them my resume, because that's not even a school like I'm interested in. But even that, just keep that in mind. Also, the other tables that I went to, like, I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of principals that I was very interested in. They were very interested in me. After you leave the interview, and if the principal gives you their email and they tell you to send them another thing of your email, send it to them. Tell them that it was a pleasure meeting them. You look forward to having an interview with them, and wish them a great day. Always attach your resume. Attach your resume in there. That lets them know, like, okay, I remember her. I would like her to come in for a formal interview. A lot of the principals said, like, oh, you sub. They wanted me to give them my ID number for subbing, and they said they'll request me to come into their school and get a feel of their school. So even that even works too. If you are somebody who subs and you might see that school in the portal, that's another way for you to get in and kind of build a relationship with the principal, or get to see the school if it's something that you're interested in or you like how the school is set. So you can always do that. But like I said, it was some pros and it was some cons. Another school that I went to, she's starting ICT. She said she noticed like a lot of the kids are having special needs, and she said the general education population does not know how to give them the support that they need. So she said, particularly for all her grade levels, she's opening up 2 ICT classes for all grade levels. When she said that, I was in love, because if you guys know me, I've been doing ICT for 2 years. I'm a strong believer that ICT is an awesome classroom. I love it. Would I want to do a 1211 or 811? I would not mind, but my first choice will always be ICT. ICT will always be number one for me. But, if push comes to shove and I have to be flexible, I don't mind doing a 1211 or an 811. So if you see schools like that, that's a school and you're interested in, you want to give your resume. So I immediately gave my resume, because that is something that I'm interested in. And this is going to be something new that she's going to be starting for her school. A lot of principals are going to tell you that, hey, they will get back to you within a week, because they want to start interviewing teachers next week, so you can start going to the training over the summer. Now, I really like that, because I haven't been asked to come in for a formal interview yet. So I am waiting to see like who reaches back out to me. But even still, I'm still like sending my resumes to other schools through email if they're interested. And me personally, I feel like principals need to think a little bit smarter. You guys need to kind of have a sense of who you want in your school before the school year is over, so those new teachers who are coming in can get the training over the summer. So I'm looking for a school that they know their vacancy. I can quickly do my demo lesson before the kids leave, or if I have to come during summer school and do it, I have that option. And then from there, I'm able to start the training in the summer with the rest of the new teachers who are going to be new. So I like how one of the principals was thinking. She was like, no, she's like, I'm hiring like now. I'm doing interview after interview, because she was like, I want my teachers to start training the end of June going into July. So I was like, I like her. She's smart. Um so yeah. Back to this. And I'm gonna show you guys my portfolio. So my portfolio that I had, I got it from Pocketful of Primary. She has the portfolio template. You have to buy it off of Teachers Pay Teachers. And I really liked it because it's straight to the point, very welcoming. I have my name, the portfolio. I also have like informational documents that they need to see. So I have like cover letter, resume, letter of recommendations, my philosophy of education, teaching certs, if they want to see my scores, my transcript, my formal evaluations. So my formal evaluations that I use is what I got from my supervisor when I was doing my student teaching. So I just used that to show them the growth that I've made throughout. If you had any recommendations when you completed your student teaching, you want to add that in. A lot of my clients that I tutor, the parents always want to do a recommendation for me. They're like, please, can we do one? You can add it. So I'm like, of course. So I have some of that in here. Scores for my tests. Like I said, formal evaluation. So I have like my little post-it so I can remind myself of my first. You want to put an example of your lesson plan, student work. So I showed my student work. If they ask me about differentiation, how to do modifications, here is an example. I just spoke about it a little bit. Modifications for writing, very simple. And then if they want to see like, accommodation and modifications for students, if you were in a special education classroom in your graduate program, you guys are always going to be talking about modifications and adaptations. So any resources that you have that you can use to just explain how to work with the autism population, students who have ADHD, language impaired, learning disability students. So you just want to have a list of things that you would use in the classroom. If you have any certificates or awards, you would just add that in. Like I said, I got that from Pocketful of Primary, and I'm going to add the link where she gives it more in detail of how she did her portfolio. So I'm going to add that down below. I'm also going to, if you're interested, let me know. I want to do a video on modification and adaptations. Let me know if you're interested, and that will be my next video. Please make sure you guys leave comments. All right, bye guys. See you in the next video.